Now, how's your lecture?
My lecture?
Did you get it finished before you got smashed?
Oh, my lecture's perfectly fine. In fact, it's like a garden gnome without a hat.
What?
My lecture is like a garden gnome without a hat.
Meaning?
Short and pointless.
That isn't a joke in your actual lecture, is it?
Well, it's my warm-up joke.
Oh, God, we're doomed. Well, look, it's my fault, really. You haven't given a lecture in years. I was insane to let you write it yourself. There's still time. Show me your lecture now, and I will edit it and save you from yourself.
This isn't communist China. You can't go around editing people's lectures.
Show me right now.
You can wait till the assessment like everybody else.
Kirk, do it.
All right, fine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Get on with it.
You insist. Today's lecture is on the subject of conspecific parasites, which is jargon for parasites who feed off members of their own species.
Then postgraduate students will know what it means.
Well, some of them might not.
They'll all know.
All right, fine. Today's lecture is on the subject of conspecific parasites, which, as you will all know, is jargon for parasites who feed off their own species.
Get on with it.
I believe that my lecture, much like a gnome who's lost his hat...
Cut!
Oh, come on, the gnome joke.
Cut it!
Your trouble is you have no sense of
Get
humour.
on with it!
So naturalists observe, a flea has smaller fleas that on him prey, and these have smaller fleas to bite him, and so proceed ad infinitum. This is, of course, absolute balls, or to give it its full name, poetry.
Cut!
Now listen to me, Harris. Either you let me deliver my lecture. Oh, well, that's marvellous. Just go on to the next slide without me telling it to you.
Well, you must have pushed the button accidentally.
I did no such thing.
You're finished with that slide anyway. Just keep going.
Fine, where was I? Right, here we see the bladder threadworm, a nematode parasite of rats. Fascinating things, nematodes. You really don't know what horrific disfigurement means until you've seen a prolapsed rectum caused by whipworm.
Cut! You are not going to talk about prolapsed rectums in front of the government assessor.
I was going to put in a slide.
Oh, well, absolutely not.
All right, no rectums. So, threadworm. Now, here we see the female worm, and in this cross-section here we see the male worm. He lives his entire life within the uterus of the female. Note the slender and... But it's done it again!
You must be pushing the button.
I bloody well am not!
Don't worry, push the back button.
Well, it's not working.
Well, just keep going.
Fine. So, in this slide we come a great deal sooner than expected to the most peculiar of conspecific parasites, the anglerfish. This divine-looking beauty here is the female. This little chap here, that's the male. Now, deep-sea fish have terrible difficulty finding a mate, much like graduate students. When they find their mate, guided by her luminescent lure, they simply bite her very hard on the backside and hang on. Over time, their skin fuses together. They become, in effect, one fish, and he becomes a useless appendage, good only for fertilizing eggs. And I'm sure anyone with a husband will know how she feels. Want you to cut that joke?
No, that was quite funny.
Well, I'm cutting that joke. Now, but I wasn't finished with that slide.
Well, perhaps if you spoke a little faster.
Oh, fine. We'll throw 25 years of lecture experience out the window and let... Oh, well, that's it. That is bloody it. The bloody thing's ruined my own both of them, Joe.
Yes, well, look, we're out of time anyway.
It's the highlight of my lecture.
I'll try to cope with the disappointment, shall I? Well, Kirk, I must say I am pleasantly surprised. There are parts of that lecture which actually make sense.
Thank you so much.
I'm afraid to get my hopes up, naturally, but if you can deliver that lecture without swearing or falling over, then there's an outside chance the department could be saved.